Yay, we're live.
Hey, hi everybody.
Emmie was like, I know the best movie, the most high quality shit. And it was. The poster is incredible. It's so pretty.
And it even kind of starts like similar to Megan because like Megan starts with that commercial and this one
Yeah.
starts with like that advertisement thing for their new robot security.
I just remember thinking, like, first of all, why is this guy so determined to, like, steal? Like, why is he even in here? And then he was just like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was so, aggressive with the robot, and I was like, this seems unusual. Like, I think if I was trying to steal and then a whole robot came up to me, I would be like, oh my god, here, I'm sorry. I would be a lot more intimidated.
Well, that's why when robots take over the
Mhm.
world, we're gonna be saved because
Exactly.
we'll be like, yeah, you guys totally deserve to be in charge.
Listen, like, I'm nice to every robot when it messes up. Like when I'm at self-checkout and she's like telling me to place the item in the bag and it is in the bag, I don't get that upset. I'm just like, listen, it's in there. And then when like Apple Maps or whatever is giving me like weird directions, I'm like, you're doing your best, just that wasn't a great route. Because eventually they'll remember and they'll think like that customer was really mean to me when I was just trying to get her to put her item in the bag, and they're going to kill those people. It's not going to
Yeah.
be me. You and I are going to be safe.
Yeah, 100%. I was just gonna say, I do find it funny though when people are sitting there yelling at the self checkout like that's not gonna solve your problem.
I know. I was in like a Kroger or Fry's, like a grocery store, and this lady was like screaming at the self checkout, and she even started hitting it, and it was like, ma'am, that will not do anything. But when the robots come to life, that one will remember you, and it will kill you. Oh, you know the characters like right at the beginning when not Kurt Russell is presenting the robots and they're like really skeptical and making fun of them? They reminded me of us because they were like roasting them, and then the guy was like, maybe we should get these for the customers that we don't like. I was like, this would so be me and Emmy at some sort of conference, just like quietly making fun of the products.
But not robot ones.
No, we would love
We
we
have,
would love the robots.
but yeah, if it was anything else, that would totally be us.
Yep.
J.K. Rowling having a conference
Oh,
to promote her new Harry Potter stuff, that would totally be us.
oh, that would so be us. Yeah, it's like at first I didn't like that couple because I was like, dude, these are robots. Like that's pretty cool. But then when he said maybe we can use these on customers we don't like, that's when I was like, this sounds like a decision Emmy and I would reach.
Yeah, and them wanting to train them to like kill cockroaches
Yeah.
or whatever.
They probably should train them to do that, honestly.
I would probably
Uh-huh.
do the exact same thing you do and like pull out the can of spray and spray like half the fucking bottle.
That is exactly my method and I stand by it. I also loved how like clunky the robots were, like how loud they were when they moved their head and stuff. How do they sneak up on anyone? Like they are so loud.
Yeah, like those people that are supposed to be babysitting them or whatever.
I
Like I
know.
don't know how they didn't hear them like moving around.
That's what I was saying. Like they would like swivel their heads to make eye contact with each other, and I'm like, you don't hear that? It's literally like whoosh. I also thought like when they were presenting the robots and he was like, what about, or the guy in the audience was like, what about the people who work late? Like, what are you going to do about that? And he was like, oh, it's fine. Like, if you have your badge, they just look at it. And I was like, okay, but what if you forgot your badge? Because I forget my badge all the time. Would it just kill you? Or would it arrest
guess.
you? I felt like that was the next logical question, but everyone was satisfied.
They didn't really ask a whole lot of great questions
No.
during that conference. I I also like how after they kill someone, like every single person they kill, they're like, "Have a nice
Yeah.
day."
Thank you. Have a nice day.
They were just doing their jobs.
Okay, so do you think these people, I mean, other than the married couple,
Uh-huh.
which I have opinions about.
Yes.
I will
I can't
I will
wait to
voice
hear.
them in a second.
Uh-huh.
But do you think they're supposed to be teenagers or college kids?
Oh,
Because
okay.
I thought maybe at first, the first time I watched it, I thought maybe college kids.
Uh-huh.
But all the girls have to like call their parents to be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hey, can I hang out with my friends after work?" And I
Yeah.
feel like if you're in college, you're an adult, and you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I got that vibe too. Like, so when it first started and you meet Allison and I think it's Susie and they're at work. I thought they were
Yeah.
like college age, but then they had to call their dads and be like, "Hey, can I go out tonight?" So that's when I started thinking they're in high school, but it was just so weird. And then
Yeah.
their parents never came back into the equation, so it's like they could have probably just like left that out. Cause the first thing I was thinking
Yeah.
was like, well, okay, if they had to ask permission to hang out, their parents are probably pissed at them and like looking for them. I almost thought the parents were gonna show up or something and be like, "Where are my kids?" So I was confused why
Yeah.
the married couple was even hanging out with them.
Yes. Okay. So my thing is like if they're high school kids, it
Mhm.
makes sense. They're like, we have nowhere else to party
Yeah.
and have sex. But the guys work at a furniture store and they're closing up. So they're like, hey, let's just all meet here and party and have sex.
Yeah.
But then they invite their like married couple friends and they're going there. And I have no idea why. If you're married, you
Right.
clearly have a place of your own.
Right.
Why are you going? Because, like, I'm a few years older than you.
Uh-huh.
And if we went to school together and we were friends, because of course we would be if we knew each
Of
other
course.
back
Of
then.
course we would.
And they just married Star, and I have my own place.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, I'm still in high school. My boyfriend works in the furniture store. We're gonna go meet up there after it closes and drink beer and have sex. Do you want to join? I'd be like, no, I have my own place to do that.
Like, let's say you were irresponsible enough to be like, yeah, I'll meet you there and we'll party at the fucking closed furniture store with your other high school friends. Like, that's one thing. But I feel like once everyone started having sex with each other on the beds that they're supposed to be selling, that's when you as a married person would be like, okay, I'm out. Like, I'll see you guys later. She even changed into like lingerie. I was like, why would you do that? Where did she even change?
Just right out in the open,
Yeah, I
guess.
guess so. I didn't really understand how they thought that they could use those beds and not get caught. I love like right at the beginning when Allison is telling everyone or she's telling the cook like what the guy ordered. And then it like cuts to him when this right before the scene changes and he's like,
Waitress, more butter.
I'm like, what the
I had a friend who she'd watched this movie like a year or two ago and she posted in her Instagram stories like that scene. It wasn't even the scene, it was like a screenshot of what that guy was like saying that his girlfriend felt like pepperoni.
Oh yeah.
And then I replied, I'm like, oh, you're watching Chopping Mall. And she's like, you're like the only person in the world that would like know that.
I like pepperoni.
There were so many like specific hilarious moments. And I'm like, how are you guys what is happening right now?
Well, and she's like doing like the like kind of strip tease like
Mhm.
thing when she's doing it. And it's like, but she has her back to her boyfriend.
I know.
So it's like she's doing it for the camera,
Yep.
obviously, but it's like he can't see it. He sees your back.
I know. I know there were so many like camera like unnecessary butt and boob moments. Like I've worked in a mall a lot and I've never gone into a mall locker room and been naked. Like they were changing into their underwear in a mall locker room. Like I'm sure when you were working at Target, you weren't like, oh, and now we're all gonna go in the locker room and get naked. So that doesn't happen.
No. Teenagers, when they're applying to work at Target, probably wish that's what happened.
Right. I know, you don't get to be naked at work, unfortunately.
I'm assuming the married couple, they threw them in there because other than Allison, they're like the only ones that ever come up with like logical plans.
That's true.
When they get separated, it was the married guy that was like, let's go to the gun store and like load up on guns. And then like the high school kids are like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then when the girls are like, they go to the sporting goods store or whatever, because that's where the vent led that they were in. And then the high school kids were just gonna leave, and the married chick's like, we should like grab some stuff to use as weapons before we go out there. And then they're
you're
like,
right.
oh, I guess that makes sense.
You know what I thought was funny was when the girls were all in the air vents, the dumbest girl,
Yeah.
Susie, is like, oh my god, I hate it in here. I want to go back and be with my boyfriend. And she would not shut up about it. Like, when she decided, like, I'm leaving this air vent, I fully would have been like, okay, bye. Like, I would not have gone with her. Like, and I didn't expect them to go with her. I thought they were just gonna be like, damn, R.I.P. Susie, she's not gonna last long. I thought they were gonna keep it moving because that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
And then I saw that they all went with her, and I was like, all right. And then yeah, it was a married chick who was like, oh, we should probably get weapons.
Allison, and this fucking annoyed me later. She fucking sticks like a road flare in her bra. I'll use this later. And that just, like, it pissed me off because it's like, it took her so long to remember.
I know.
And I'm like, dude, a guy had to have written the script because no chick who's ever had anything in her bra is gonna forget it.
I just put a seltzer in my boobs right now. Like, there's no way I could ever forget that this is here. There's no way.
Although I feel like even if you shove $1 in there, you're gonna feel it.
Oh yeah.
But like, it's not like it's something like small and kind of squishy.
Yeah.
It's like
It was
this huge fucking thing.
when you're in this dangerous situation. Like, there were so many moments in which, oh my god, like when Susie caught fire. And I was like, see, I feel like they just low-key don't like her because she was just like on fire. Well, she was just laying there for the longest time, like, no, like just laying there, and they were just looking at her. And I'm like, someone could have run out and like helped, but they were just watching.
Yeah, and then later when they get to their little hideout place after that, and her boyfriend's just like fucking yelling at them, like,
I know.
why didn't you guys stay in the vents? Like, dude, your dumbass girlfriend wanted to leave the vents.
Like, if you had been in there with your girlfriend, you would have killed yourself. Like, there was no keeping her in there. She was so annoying. She was like, it's hot. Like,
I also find it funny because when she's sitting there whining about how hot she is in there, and then Allison's like, wrap your sleeves around your hands. And it's like, the other two, yeah, they have sleeves.
Yeah.
But fucking Susie's wearing a fucking
I
tank
know.
top.
I know.
she ain't wrapping that around her.
Oh my god. I know. It's like, well, she's fucked. The first girl, I think it was Linda, that they killed, that made me laugh so hard because, like, well, first, she sucked. Like, she was, like, screaming at Michael, and it's like, the dude is dead. So, obviously, they didn't like each other that much. But then the robot starts chasing her, and he's just like laser shooting her in the butt, and it looked like it didn't hurt at all. It was just like leaving a little burn mark on her underwear, and they like zoomed in on the butt, and I was like, oh well, this is kind of nice. I feel like the robot's not even trying to hurt her. He's just kind of like hurting her like a shepherd. He's just like
Yeah.
bzz, bzz, trying to get her away. But then he like explodes her head. And I was like, wait a minute. How is the same shot that just like barely gives her a little sting on her butt explodes her whole entire head? It was like, it's like they really were just like, okay, show the booty. All right, bet now we can
Yeah.
kill her. And everyone saw it, and blood splattered everywhere. It was so stupid.
And then when they show like her friends watching through the window, it
Yeah.
just looks like they squirted like some ketchup on the
Yeah,
window.
I know.
And then they also like you see this robot just like make your friend's head explode, and you fucking wait there until another one shows up. Oh my god, there's another one!
I thought that too. As soon as I saw a robot explode the head, I would have been gone. But they like stood there and kept
Yeah.
looking. But then I was like, don't you guys work here? Like, don't you know that there are 3 robots? Like, did they not brief their employees on that? They're just dumb.
Probably not.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or maybe they did, and being high school kids, they just didn't pay
They
attention
probably weren't
because
paying.
that's-
yeah, I'll be real. I wouldn't. Although, if someone was telling me like our workplace has robot security, I would probably be interested in that.
And then I also like, this is like right before the head explosion thing, when her
Uh-huh.
boyfriend's out there, and then the robot like comes up behind him, is like, "Can I see your badge?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, like you guys are quiet." I'm like,
No, they're not.
"Are you deaf?"
No, they're so loud. Also in that scene, when he's buying the cigarettes, he's like, "Oh my god, $1.25." I was like, "Dude, cigarettes are $10." Like, and then I got really upset at like baby boomers, and I was like, "Do they understand how expensive everything is?" Like, I was like, I had to pause and like rant in my head about inflation. Like, this is the world we live
Yeah.
in.
And then, like, I don't know if because he doesn't fucking he gets there and he's like says the like $1.25 or
Yeah.
whatever, and then he's just like sitting there like looking at the cigarettes and not putting money in. So
I
I'm
know.
like, did he not bring it up out with him? And if so, like, does he think staring at them is gonna make them fall out?
Yeah, I didn't get what he was doing because it kind of just showed him like digging in his like pockets, and I'm like, how long is this gonna take you? And then I kind of thought the robot would let him go when he saw his badge, but he didn't because the janitor didn't show identification.
Yeah.
The janitor was like, "Oh my god, you're so stupid. Like, obviously fucking work here." And the robot was like, "Don't make any sudden moves." And the janitor immediately made sudden moves. And I was like, you know what? This guy's doing all the wrong things. Oh, the robots. They were so funny.
I don't know why Star doesn't appreciate them, but
I don't know. I thought they were so cute. Their little voices. So I feel like I don't totally understand what made them go crazy. Was it like when lightning hit their computer?
yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Because that's like the only thing that happened.
Yeah.
So I assume that had to have been like they made them like malfunction, but I guess who knows? Maybe they were just always evil.
Yeah. I mean, they were kind of like they were being pretty sneaky right at the beginning with the 2 guys who were like babysitting them. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like the robots were like, I'm so hyped to kill these people. Oh, but do you know
Yeah.
what irritated me was like they had a perfectly good, really simple plan. They were like, we just have to get down to the parking garage and then we can leave. And it was like, okay, we'll do that. And then all of a sudden it was like, or we could go up to the 3rd floor and try to deactivate them. And it's like, no, just leave. Like, just stick. You've already made your way down. Like, now they all want to go up, and then they just kept getting killed because they would, like, find these great hiding spots. And then they would leave. Like, I think if you and I were in this mall, you and I would be like, okay, we found a good spot. Let's just have the worst night of our lives and stay here until the mall fucking opens.
I guess this is also kind of jumping ahead, but when they're in their, like, safe spot in that, like, restaurant they worked in or whatever.
Yeah.
And, Allison's like, well, maybe it would be better if we split up.
I think we better split up.
And it's like, I kinda, like, get what she's going for, but it's like, that's, like, you doing that, you're basically accepting that one out of you guys is gonna die for
Exactly.
sure.
And also, I did not understand why several times, well,
Yeah.
twice in the movie, they kept bringing up, like, finances. Like, there was one point where the boys were barricading the room, like, after they had their gunfight with the first one. And the guy was like, oh, what do I owe you for the beer? And it's like, are you serious right now? Like, I'm not thinking about the, like, $5 that I spent on PBR when we're in a, like, fight for our lives. And then later, the married girl was like, okay, well, according to my calculations, if we live, we're gonna owe the mall, like, a shit ton of money. And I'm like, no, you're not. Why are you even thinking about that, first of all? But second of all, don't worry about it. Like, why is that what you're doing? Like, I thought she was gonna say, okay, according by my calculations, like, these are our odds of survival, or like, we're gonna need this much food if we're gonna stay here for the night or something. Like, the robots are breaking stuff too.
Robots are breaking more stuff,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Because they broke through all the windows.
Yeah, they broke all the glass. They also killed a bunch of people. Like, oh, and then there was like a little foreshadowing when she throws the cup in the trash can and he's like, nice shot. And then later she like gets the key shot on one of the robots or the elevator or whatever. And everyone's like, ooh, Deadeye, where'd you learn to shoot like that? And she's like, oh, my dad's a Marine. And I'm like, cool, so why don't we give the gun to the girl who knows how to shoot? But they didn't give her any weapons. They're just like, okay, bye. Like, bye. And they all sucked at shooting. Like, none of them were doing anything.
But the guys wanted to look tough.
Exactly.
Like,
That's what it
they were
was.
like, we can't have a girl save us.
Exactly. Oh, I also expected, speaking of the married people, like when you meet them at the beginning and she's like good with cars or whatever. So I thought she was gonna end up like using her mechanical expertise on the robots somehow, but that didn't come up. And I was like, well, I felt kind of let down.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah, that would have been like a cool plot development.
I guess they just wanted to establish like, oh, this is a married couple that like own their own business, but they still choose to go party in the mall with like underage kids.
Yeah, that makes no sense at all. They must be weird. Like when she was limping back out after blowing up that robot, I was like, dude, what if Ferdy's actually alive? Because like he did just kind of hit his head. Like he could be fine. And I was like, that'd be too good to be true, though. It's totally gonna be one of those soul survivor things. But then he was alive, and I was like, oh my god, it's Ferdy. Like, I was so because I really felt betrayed. I was like, Alison, he's not real. It's fine. Like, it's fine that he died. Like, don't be upset. Because I was actually so sad. I was like, he didn't even want to go. Like, it's his uncle's shop. Like, he was trying to do the right thing, and they had such a connection. Like, I was like, wow, they're really making like being stuck in the mall, being hunted by killer robots, like romantic. Like, they're really bonding. And then he died, and I was like, God, how sad would it be to like be a teenager and think you've
met someone who you can get along with, and then he fucking dies in front of you. And then he was fine. Oh my god, it's a happy ending.
And then, like, he has, like, a fucking roll of toilet paper,
Yeah.
like,
Oh my god,
up to his head, like, to use as a bandage.
you're so dumb. But whatever. And then I was like, well, he did sustain a head injury, so.
Why does she have her fucking arm bandage over her fucking sweaters? I don't understand.
I thought that too. Like, why would you put it over your sweater? Oh, I have it up on the
Okay,
stream.
you
Like,
know.
it's ridiculous.
Well, and to go back to the, like, Ferdy quote-unquote death scene,
Mm-hmm.
I, like, the first time I watched this movie, and, like, they decide to split up because she wants to, and he's like, I think that's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, we're gonna do it anyway. And then the robot, like, corners her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, girl, you have a fucking flare in your bra. Just fucking take it out.
I was so
And then-
irritated.
And then she's sitting there screaming for Ferdy. And I'm like, dude, if fucking Ferdy dies because you're too stupid to remember you have something in your bra that you should
Mhm.
very clearly feel.
I was so angry because up to this point it seemed like Allison was the smartest. So when she was
Yeah.
like, it's just her and her nerd boyfriend. So you're thinking like, okay, these two are gonna live because they're smart. And then she's like, we should split up. We just should. And he's like, no, I don't think we should. And she's like, oh, what could happen? And he's like,
And then after he, or you think he dies,
yeah.
she goes to that fucking pet store, and I'm like,
know.
and the first time I saw it, I'm like, dude, if these fucking puppies get killed, that's what this is.
I was so sure they were gonna show the robot like exploding a puppy. I was like, okay, let me brace myself because this is gonna happen. I couldn't understand why she was like, oh, I'm gonna break into this store. Like, girl, for
Yeah.
what? And then it was only the snakes and tarantulas that got out. And they were being so nice to her. The tarantulas were like, you seem scared. I'm gonna crawl on you and help you feel better. And then she was like mad at them. And I swear to God that she stepped on one. And I was like, that's mean. Like, those tarantulas are just chilling.
Yeah.
It's not their fault.
And I also think it's funny because it's like very clearly real tarantulas. Like,
Yeah.
when they're crawling around and when they're crawling on her. And then like after the robot leaves and they come back to her, she just has like a bunch of like black like
know.
rubber toy
I know.
on her. And she's just like wiping them away. And I'm like, you guys couldn't even try with that.
They were like, we can't afford to hire these tarantulas for more than one scene. My only complaint about this movie, which was otherwise a perfect 10 out of 10, was that I did want to see what happened when the mall opened up. Like, I was really curious, like, what would happen when the guy that I thought was Kurt Russell found out that his robots like killed a bunch of people. Like,
And it's like the first fucking night that they have them.
I know.
And they immediately go kill people.
I think I'm ready to wrap up if you are. Any final
Yeah.
chopping mall thought?
I will just say I do highly recommend this movie. That suggested it to Alien and she really enjoyed it.
I did really enjoy it. It was really good. Everyone should watch it. Like, it still surprised me how fun
Yeah.
it was. Like, from the first minute, I was hooked.
It's ridiculous and fun.
Yeah, it's a silly movie or day or whatever.
Bye.
Bye.